Hi guys, welcome to my tutorial. This is the department of the ICT. We are doing the introduction to information communication technology for those who are doing a diploma in ICT module 1. So today's tutorial, we're going to look at the computer hardware. We are going to begin on computer hardware. I remember we did all the other introduction where we defined the term. We look at the classification of computers, and we look at the characteristic of high quality data. So today's tutorial, we are going to begin on the computer hardware. Remember, on the introduction to information communication technology, we're going to look at the computer hardware. We look at the computer software, and the rest. We look at the computer network, and the rest. But you're going to begin with computer hardware. So first, we define what is hardware. They are physical, tangible computer equipment and devices that the user can see and touch. Let me include see and touch. E.g., for example, we have a monitor. This is a hardware. You can see it, you can touch it. It's in hard form. 2, we have mouse. 3, we have CPU, the central processing unit. 4, we have storage devices. 5, we have keyboard. 6, we have speakers. 7, we have printers. So those are the examples of hardware. So what is a hardware? If you are told to define a hardware or define the following terms, maybe you're told computer, data, information communication technology, and hardware, maybe software. You're going to look on that. So you define hardware as that. Simple. They are physical, tangible computer equipment and devices, not just computer devices. You have equipment and devices that the user can see and touch. So I can touch too. That's the point. So we have monitor, we have the mouse, the CPU, central processing unit, storage device, keyboard, speakers, and printers. So we are going to look each and every one by one. But we'll begin. Let's first define the system unit, because this is the unit of this is the main part of the computer system. So it's the core of the computer. When you hear the core, it's the major part of the computer. It's the CPU or the microprocessor that acts as the brain of a computer. The way you as a human being, you have the brain on your head. So the CPU or the system unit is the one that acts as the brain of a computer. So when you use the computer hardware, for the software to function, the CPU acts as the brain. So it means it do the processing. When you hear the microprocessor, it means it do the processing. It's the main part of the computer. So it also holds RAM that temporarily store information when the computer is on. RAM is the random. It's the random access memory. Random access memory. So that temporarily store information when the computer is on. When the computer goes off, the information is not in the computer. So hardware are not part of computer system. That are not part of computer system are called peripheral devices, e.g. cables. So those devices which are connected to the computer that you can see and touch, but they are not part of the computer. Maybe cables like USB cables, and the SD cards, and the external and external storage devices. Those are connected to computer by use of cables. Those are called peripheral devices. So remember, you may told to define the term like peripheral device. So you see they are hardware devices that are not part of the computer, but they are connected to computer by the use of cables. Those are the peripheral devices. So we are going to begin with peripheral devices examples. These are devices that connect to system unit by use of cables to enable processing. We are to define the peripheral device or devices that connect to system unit. Remember the system unit, we say the brain is tech, there's a brain of computer and is the microprocessor of the computer by use of cables to enable processing. Those are peripheral devices. So they may be external, e.g. monitor, mouse, keyboard, printer, scanner, or internal such as CD-ROM drive and CD drive. So those are the peripheral devices. So we are going to begin with the hardware categories. This includes, let's look at the category of the hardware. We're going to look at the input devices, output devices, processing devices, storage devices, and that is the point. So remember, we are going to look each and every category one by one. We'll check at the input devices. Looking at the example of the input devices, their function and how they help in processing the data. We look at the output, but before we check on the output, I think after input is good, we got the processing. Then after processing, we go to the storage. After storage, we can easily go to the output, because this is the process. This is the cycle of the processing. We have to input data on the computer. The data must be, you input it first. When you input the data on the computer, it must be processed. After being processed, it must be stored. Then you check at the output devices. These they produce the information that is stored in the computer. So we are going to begin one by one. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, to share, and to